Prepare yourself, because together, let's uncover and rediscover the hidden practitioner within inside you. You are the power you seek.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Doc Demo. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about cancer, but a specific cancer. We're going to be talking about tumors, but then we're going to talk about brain tumor, and then we're going to talk about how if you don't find the root cause, no matter how many times you cut the tumor out, did you really cut the cause? So everybody's got their own idea, right? But here's a really good idea for you. What if no matter what condition you had, from the minute you woke up in the morning, okay, you were emotionally in touch with yourself? Like really emotionally in touch with yourself, okay? You know, I did a post this morning and I said, being awake is being in love. Do you know what that means? Being awake, being in the present moment, being connected to your breath, and actually knowing how to make logical decisions, whether you're talking about diet, nutrition, detox, exercise, and most importantly, making the right decisions when it comes to your emotional health. And understand something. What people do not get is we are light energy spirit beings down here having a physical adventure. Okay, this is a physical suit for us to wear to come down here and experience and see if we could even master emotions. But understand something. Only 1 out of 10,000 people, I believe, it's not like it was a study, have ever mastered their emotions to the point of really mastering their day, because there is not a physical condition that you have that isn't ruled by your emotions. You know, people say, well, you know, it runs in my family. Well, no, I'll tell you what runs in the family. Habits. Habits run in the family. And those habits are emotional, physical, what you eat, what you think, what you drink. You'd be surprised. Whether you want to be like your mother and father or not, you are. Now, the reality is that's a beautiful thing, but the reality is if we were to teach people how to get rid of the family curse. And how do you get rid of the family curse? Well, understand something. There is not a parent alive that isn't adulterated that I know. God knows I was. Still am. Still working on it. You know, the deal is what our parents want the best for us. They always do. I'm sure, you know, that it wouldn't be called dishonoring your parents if you got rid of dishonoring beliefs that they actually taught you unknowingly. Every parent loves the best that they can, and they always want to do better, but the only way you can do better is to be better, and the only way you can be better is if you have better thoughts, if you have better programs. So that means that you have to really understand the art of self-care, self-love, observation, not judgment, observing yourself. Now, you know what? You're going, well, I thought this was about tumors, Dr. Wolfe, and I thought this was about the brain. Well, understand something. You don't get tumors in the brain unless the brain's on fire. Now, why would the brain be on fire? Well, we know that one of the biggest things that people do not look at today, because nobody's doing it, is drinking enough water, drinking the right water. And I hope you do know that the brain will shrink 30 to 40% in size. And why does anything shrink? Well, it gets dehydrated. Every time that you get thirsty in your mouth, your brain is already past dehydration. So you're shrinking it. So that's one thing. Now, what if you didn't know that you were running dysfunctional beliefs? Well, you do know, because you'll know what your life is like. I mean, let's put it this way, and I mean this in the best way, and I truly do, okay? You know, people are beautiful, okay? People are beautiful, but the reality is this, okay? A lot of their beliefs are not beautiful, and that's the bottom line. And you'll know why. Oh my God, there's people that have had tantrums for 10 and 20 years. Do you think that if you had a tantrum for 10 or 20 years, you could create a tumor? Well, I can tell you right now that a couple, a husband and a wife can come together, or a woman and a man, I should say, can come together and they can create a child. So I'm sure that you could create a tumor. But if you created the tumor unconsciously, could you consciously get rid of it? Oh, absolutely. But that means you'd have to change your beliefs. Because understand something, your whole physical world was created by your beliefs. Oh my God, look at this. Please don't get me wrong, but look at this silliness over COVID and the pandemic. I don't care. You know, I'm not trying to upset anyone. So if you're really caught up in this thing and you think you're going to die of COVID, right? And you got to have a mask, 6-foot rule, and you got to go by all the fool's rules that they're giving us out there. You go right ahead. I honor you with that. You can do anything you want. But don't you dare get pissed off at me for me saying that I'm bigger than any virus and I'm not going to listen to any government official. I'm a hell of a lot smarter than any government official I've ever known. And you better get that. Because understand something, you're not smart if you're not logical. But the reality is human beings aren't really smart. They're smart if they have smart beliefs. But if they don't have smart beliefs, they'd have dumb beliefs. If you have dumb beliefs, you're going to do dumb shit. There's no other way to put it. You do dumb shit. Look at all the dumb shit we're doing. Excuse my expression. It's almost Christmas. Don't mean to swear. This is a family show. But guess what? I see it all over the place right now. I see children getting hurt because parents are adulterated and they're freaking out. They've never been in charge of their emotions. They've never been in charge of their life. And if you're not in charge of your emotions, that's called energy in motion. You're not going to be in charge of the physical matter. You know, it's the funniest thing, eh? Vitamin L, okay? The strongest nutrient on this planet is vitamin L. That's love. But understand something. Nobody's ever giving you love all the time. There's nobody going to fill up your heart all the time. And understand something. If we were unconditionally, totally loving, honoring, respecting ourselves, we would not be taking in flour products, sugar products, dairy products, dead animal products. We wouldn't be. Honest to God, we wouldn't be, you know? And we definitely, if we're going to eat animals, we'd want to eat animals where the farmer actually raised the animals and talked to them like his pets and loved them and caressed them, treated them with respect. Disease means you're not at ease. Disease means you're out of alignment. And understand something. Why the brain? Well, if the brain goes on fire enough, okay, you'll create dementia, you'll create Alzheimer's, you can create a stroke, okay? You can create a seizure. Yeah, and you could create a tumor. You can create a benign fibroid, which is a tumor, or you could create one that's mutated, one that's cancerous. And I truly do believe that right from a pimple to a tumor, it's a storage shed. Not just for the physical, it's a storage shed for the emotional as well. And I believe that if you can retrain the brain, which means you'd have to introduce more loving thoughts and more honoring thoughts, that you can heal the brain. You could heal any part of the body. Now, here's the deal. Tell me where you go in the world of medical health, where they talk about your emotions, where they talk about detox. You know, the medical system says, hey, detoxification is totally just a ripoff. Dr. Wolfe is ripping you off for your money. And I'll tell you, I am, absolutely. It's truly true. I would be ripping you off for your money if corporations and government and the so-called medical system was actually healthcare, and they weren't selling us off by the pound. If we were to totally embrace nature, because see what's happening, I don't care what disease you have, whether you got gout in your toe or you got a tumor in your brain, you're nature deficient. Take a look at that person's life. Now, when I say nature deficient, that also includes self-love, self-care. And there is only one healthcare, and that's self-care. There's only one love, and that is self-love. And you're going to say, well, that's not true. My family really loves me. Yeah, well, guess what? They do and they don't. They're on and they're off. Not everybody can love you all the time. It takes a lot of energy. That's why the honeymoon is eventually over. That's why we think people change, but they just can't do that. They just can't keep filling up the other person's heart because it's not normal and it's not natural. And you give me a person that has a disease, and I'll tell you that they also have dysfunctional beliefs about themselves, of unworthiness. Because if you believe that you are worthy, and you also believe that you could heal from anything, why is it that we only believe that we can create diseases, but we can't create healings for ourselves? Well, I'll tell you why. You've been programmed for 120 years. The American Medical Association started off around 1910. They were given $100 million by the Rockefellers, that is an oil company, that said, listen, we're going to make drugs out of oil and petroleum. And then we want you to go out and destroy 110 different colleges and universities in North America, which they did within 15 years. And then they said that no university will be open unless they only research and sell our drugs. How's that working for you? So we know that drugs don't heal. So I'm not telling you not to do drugs. I'm not trying to take the place of your doctor, your medical doctor. But the reality is we kind of gave up on the human body. Between drugs and surgery, I talk to people all the time, and they don't have the basics. So what I want to do today with Sonia is I want to go through the basics with her. Talk about what a perfect day could start to look like. And each day we're going to work on a new perfect day. Okay? All right? Understand, I have a perfect day every day. And it doesn't matter how many times I fail, how many things go wrong, because I need to practice. I know that I'm going to fail 10,000 times before I master anything. Gosh, I used to remember when I used to try to do things, and, you know, if I didn't perfect it within an hour, I'd have a tantrum. And this is what makes us sick. We're not patient with ourselves. So we're bad patients because we have no patience for ourselves, because we're actually taught not to have patience for ourselves. So, and that's where the medical system rules schools and fools, right? Take this drug, 2 minutes later, no pain. I can tell you right now, I have a lot of people that come to me that have had some severe surgeries and are in some severe pain. And they're on some pretty heavy-duty drugs. And understand something. If you want to tell your body to shut up and get rid of the pain, you're telling your immune system to shut down. It's not going to work for that long. I'm not saying I've never done drugs. I have. But the reality is this. Everything has its place, doesn't it? But toxins don't have their place if you want to create the perfect day. The biggest problem that we're ever going to have is that very few people are healthy. So if you take on a healthy protocol, you're going to be coming against the herd. You're going to come against your family, your loved ones. Everybody's going to go, aren't you a health nut? So basically, I was a health nut when I was younger, trying to clean up my act. Took me a while to do it. And now I'm a quack. So, you know, whatever. Call me whatever you want, but guess what? I'm the guy that's smiling. I'm the guy that doesn't really care how many people are freaking out over COVID. I'm the guy that doesn't care what kind of rules these fools are going to dream up tomorrow. Because understand, I talk to people all around the world every day. My God, in every city, in every country, there's different rules, but we're the same people. And the reality is that nobody would be dying of COVID if they weren't inflamed, if they weren't infected, if they didn't have dysfunctional beliefs, if they weren't listening to the government in the first place, they wouldn't be sick. So you listen to your government about how to eat and how to treat yourself. Meanwhile, they're governed by an internal government that is toxic as all get out. Government's never given anything that's good. And everybody's going to pay for anything they get from these guys. Okay? So what's this got to do with a tumor? Well, it has everything to do with a tumor. You can't create a tumor if you are going to be involved in toxic relationships. So me, I don't have a bad relationship with my government. I don't have any relationship with them. There. Don't care what they dream up. Don't care what they say. Their rules aren't going to affect me because I only have one rule. Do no harm. Let me tell you something. If this was a pandemic, do you think I'm some kind of fool? Well, you probably do. Who cares, though? The reality is, do you actually think if this was a pandemic, I wouldn't wear... If it was going to help everybody, I'd wear a mask right now. There is no scientific data for it. The World Health Organization says one thing, does another thing. So guess what? Whether we're talking about a tumor, whether we're talking about a cold or a flu, you better watch out where you're getting your information from. Is it been created by corporate America? Has it been created by the government? Or has it been created by someone that has not turned their back or has tried to rape Mother Nature? And understand something. Take away your power to heal. So when we talk to Sonia in just a couple minutes here, does Sonia's father want to live? How badly does he want to live? Does Sonia's father have passion? Does he have purpose? Has Sonia's father given up? Because if he has emotionally given up, all the love and all the propping up will help. But you got to have passion and you got to have purpose. So if you're the type of person that focuses on the negative in the world, or what you think you've done wrong, or that you should be punished by your God or by anyone else, you're going to have a crappy day. There's no way in the world that if you don't have empowering beliefs, you're not going to have a great day and you're not going to be healed. So understand. I'll tell you right now, I searched the world over for the best nutritional energy medicine products, whether it comes to equipment or products. Let me tell you something. Right now, we're bringing on the world's best carbon 60. I mean, I have to look through so much stuff to actually find the real stuff. And we're continually doing that. So understand something. If you're not spending part of your day challenging, observing, researching to create a perfect day for yourself, you'll never be able to do it for your family. A few things to think about. Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
So what do you think about what I just said?
I 100% agree with everything that you've said. It's kind of been my world for a very long time. And I absolutely agree with all the COVID information as well. I've been right up your alley since practically March, April is when I started figuring things out. So, yep, I'm in your world. I get it.
But understand something, everyone. I'm not against COVID. Do whatever they want. But I'm not for it. You know what? Nobody's going to threaten me to tell lies. Nobody's going to try to scare me to do things I'm against. And the reality is most of the population is actually out there going against themselves. You know what? How does it feel to disrespect yourself? Because that's what you're doing. You're disrespecting yourself when you do things that you know that you don't want to do, but you're doing them anyway. And so the reality is people aren't given an option, Sonia. So, there's an option here. You're learning a lot. Your dad didn't get that chance, did he? Because everything was in lockdown mode. The information wasn't there. But let's talk about your father. Why don't you brief me?
Okay. My dad was diagnosed with a benign tumor in the brain last July of 2019. A few months prior to that. in July is when he had the surgery to have it removed.
Okay. Do you mind if I cut in a little bit just to keep us on
Sure.
track? Okay, so how old's your father?
Just turned 82.
Before he had the surgery, okay, was he doing better before the surgery or after the surgery?
Oh, he was healthy and running around for his age, no medication, never was on medication, just fine before surgery.
How was he after surgery? Understand, everybody. Have I ever talked to you before about this, Sonia? Just so everybody knows that we're not playing some kind of, this is real TV, but it's not. Okay? So, have we ever talked about your dad before?
I think for a few minutes, but not in detail.
Okay, all right. So, how did he do after the surgery?
Immediately after surgery, the surgeon noticed that the tumor was removed on the right side of the brain, which created some paralysis on the left arm, left hand, a little bit of weakness in the left leg as well. Also had an issue with swallowing. So he ended up in rehab at that same facility for about a month after the surgery.
Yeah. Okay. So how's he doing now?
Well, in March, he went back again, this March, to have fluid removed from the same area, and it set him back.
Okay, can you hold
again.
on 1 second? 1 second. So he had to have fluid removed, everyone, because the inflammation was still there from the surgery. It wasn't healing properly. Now, we're not going to blame the doctors because we're going to talk about what he was doing at the time. Go ahead, love.
So he had the fluid removed in March of this year, and it ended up creating, again, more paralysis on the left-hand side, hand, fingers, arm, again, with a little bit with the swallowing.
And do you know why? Because they took too much water off. You can actually take too much water off and cause dehydration, right? Which will cause more inflammation. Because guess why the water was there? The water was there for inflammation. So every time you take the water off, the problem is the fire's still there. So your dad wasn't doing anything to bring down the fire that was effectively working. So if we could have done something with your father to create a more alkaline system, to get more circulation going, to actually bring up the calcium ions, to get rid of the displaced calcium, to actually get rid of the scar tissue from the surgery in the brain, which we could have done. Get rid of the scar tissue, return the displaced calcium, and get the synapses and the nerves working properly. We could do that. We can do it, but you got to do the right things. Okay, go ahead.
Shortly after the March situation, taking out the fluid, COVID, everything got locked down, and he wasn't getting as much therapy as he needed. And a few months later, I can't remember exactly, he went in for another MRI, and they said the tumor's back, needs surgery again, and he said no.
You know, I guess everything is a personal decision for everyone. If somebody told me I had a benign tumor and understand something, I'm not telling people what to do here. We're telling stories, okay? I'm not telling people not to get surgery. I'm not telling people not to do drugs. You can do all the drugs you want, get all the surgery you want. But the reality is this. Drugs lead to surgery, and surgery leads to drugs. So I understand that we may need that in certain areas, but the reality is you'll always know a person who has not taken massive action in their personal life because they need drugs and surgery. Drugs to suppress your pain, drugs to suppress your emotions that you can't process, okay? And then surgery, because you suppress the pain, you suppress your emotions. Maybe you weren't feeling the pain, but the inflammation was still there, so it caused more scar tissue. And then the reality is with scar tissue, decreased circulation, and eventually mutation, and then growth, things growing there because the environment is not healthy enough to grow things that are healthy. So then you get unhealthy things. So now you got to have the surgery. So understand something. You can cut the tumor out, but did you cut the belief that created it? Now, we don't say that it was like one belief that created it. It's beliefs that create it. The beliefs that, like we should have yogurt. Yep. So anyways, want to tell me some more stuff about your father?
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, how's he doing now?
Well, In the last few months, I've been working with him kind of in sort of my way, similar to what you're saying, working on his beliefs, what he focused on prior to this, holding on to grudges, worrying about finances, working too hard. And I'm trying to get him to do more of the mirror work, things that he used to enjoy, more creative things, painting, reading, drawing, more movement.
Is he married? Is he married?
Yes, he is.
To your mother?
Yep, my parents have been married for 60, almost 60 years.
Okay. Then have they started the couple's connection yet?
No, I'm just learning all about these things as we go.
Or do you want to know something?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this, and people are going to go, oh, my God, Dr. Wolfe, don't even talk like that. Watch if they do the couple's connection every day for 33 days, and then take a look and see what kind of swelling or kind of tumor your father's growing. Because I'll tell you something right now, when they do the couple's connection, which is where your father would sit on the floor, he can have his back up against something, nice and comfortable with pillows, could be on the bed, up against the wall on the bed, okay? He's going to have his legs spread. Your mother is going to sit really close to him, facing him, with her legs on top of his, spread around him. She can even lock them around him if she wants. He's going to put his arms around her. She's going to put her arms around him. And they're going to look in each other's eyes, and they're going to connect to their breathing, and they're not going to look away, and they're not going to itch their noses, and they're going to make sure they went to the bathroom before they came to do this. They're going to make sure the phone's shut off, and they're going to make sure nobody's going to bother them. And a minimum of 10 minutes, and they can go longer when they start to feel comfortable. Watch how your parents are going to have a hard time, even if they've been together for 60 years, on looking each other's eyes, because people don't like me saying this, but they haven't looked in each other's eyes for more than 5 seconds in probably 40.
I believe it.
So the reality is they don't even know each other. So when they start looking at each other, they are going to grow into each other even more. They are going to actually find unbelievable strength that they've never had before. And they're going to find out that they're not two physical beings, they're two spirit beings on an adventure. And it'll help them both bring out the little girl in her and the little boy in him. Watch how they start smiling differently, treating themselves differently when they start doing this. When two come together, and you know what? They've got to do 10 minutes. So make sure they're comfortable. Get pillows around them. Stack it around. Whatever it takes to make them comfortable. But they do 10 minutes minimum. And when they can start going longer, they go stronger. Understand something right now. Somebody can walk into my clinic. People walk in every day. And I'll tell you, I'm real good at this. I can tell just by the way a person walks, talks, holds themselves within minutes if that person's going to make it or not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Taking great products, getting great therapy is going to help. But the reality is, if you don't change your personality, you're not going to change your reality, because your personality created everything in your life. And you know what? You're never too old to fall in love with yourself. You're never too old to let go of those things that you held on since you were a child. You know, Sonia, you may not believe this, but I will deal with people in their 80s and 90s all the time. And we end up, when they come here to do personal treatment and training, even at that age, we end up talking about things that they didn't get rid of, that were tearing them down and even tearing their relationships down in their 80s. And it happened when they were a child, because we don't understand that the subconscious is 90% of our brain, and it is only as smart as your belief, dumb as your belief, healthy as your belief, or as sick as your beliefs. And understand this, everyone. Most of my family has either died of heart attacks, strokes, or cancer. And usually both. And I don't have anything wrong with me. And I got to tell you, when I was a young teenager, I was already smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Export A. The green pack. Okay, because I wanted to be accepted, right? I wanted to be part of the gang. So everything is about beliefs. So Anyways, let's talk about this. First of all, what's your dad's bowel movements like?
Normal.
Normal's abnormal. Okay. Would you say that we live a normal life right now, Sonia? Would you say that
Absolutely not.
we do not live a normal life? We got blue light coming at us continually, which is totally poisoning us, which they never had to use blue light to make computers, phones, or TV with. They did that to kill us. So I don't care what people think about me anymore, because it's really goofy if I do, because they could have made actually screens and the lights that come off your phones, they could have made it a Tesla healing light. Did you know that, Sonia? But they didn't. Now, why?
Yeah.
Because there's been an evil force on this planet since the beginning of time, and because we've never learned how to get our power and take it back, they just rule us. They rule us. But anyways, let me go back to this. Your dad's bowel movements.
I've never heard of any constipation. Let's put it that way.
No. Trust me. Your father's done a lot of grunting and a groaning.
Well, I know that he did have issues, obviously, with surgeries, that he had. But other than that.
Okay, I want to tell you something, Sonia. If I'm not eating a fresh and raw, live diet, I can tell right away. Does your dad take anything for his bowels?
No.
He's 82 years old, right?
Yep.
How do you think his plumbing is right now? If he can grow a tumor, and we know that it's called gut-brain connection, the brain is connected to the gut. What does that tell you that his gut, what shape his gut's in?
Maybe not the best.
You didn't want to say, did you? You wanted to say maybe. I can guarantee you that if I were to put your dad on a cleanse, on the daily cleansing tea and the tummy love, within about 6 to 10 days, the putrefaction that would come out of his bum would smell up that bathroom so bad you wouldn't want to be in it. You have to understand something. If we looked after our large intestine, we were not going to have 95% of the problems in the human body. And remember something, Sonia, I have a big mouth, and I keep inviting doctors or anybody else on that wants to challenge me. So the reality is I'm not just playing Mickey Mouse here. I know what I'm talking about. If you were to get your dad to start doing a proper bowel cleanse and do a liver cleanse, because guess what? The large intestine is 85% of your immune system. And if you watch the show I did the other day, you'd know that 85% of the information comes from his core that goes into the spinal fluid that feeds his brain. Now, do you think that if he was absorbing his own waste and an 82-year-old liver, that might have, his waste had maybe been backing up for 50 years, and it probably clogged up his liver, do you think that would have an effect on his blood?
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we fill up toxic-wise from the bottom up. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to look after the detoxification organs to take the load off the body, right? Okay. So, is your dad there? Are you with him?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I would love to know what his bowel movement was like this morning. Why don't you give him a call?
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Give him a
Okay.
call. I'm going to go through his what was in his fridge. You call him, and I want to know what his bowel movement was like today, how many he had. I want totally honest. And length, did it float? How many? And how many yesterday and the day before? And does he have diarrhea ever? When has he had hemorrhoids and things of that nature? Would you call him?
Yeah, I'm calling him right now.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Hi, Jane. Can I talk to Nana?
So they have vegetables, fruits in their fridge. They have milk. For one thing, milk is the most cancer-causing, inflammatory product you can eat. Okay? Not the most, but it is, out of the foods that we mainly eat, it's one of the most inflammatory, cancer-causing products. And some people are going, oh, my God, you can't say that. Well, I can't. It's true. You know what? The actual government was supposed to stop putting milk and cheese and yogurt on as a major food a long time ago.
Well, sorry.
But because of money, if you want to put me on mute for a minute. So because of money, We're still got it everywhere, and they're pushing it down everybody's throats, right? We know that he should not be near milk. He's got milk. He's got shredded cheese and yogurt in the fridge.
No,
Do you know what that does to the brain? And guess what?
Semi-solid, he said.
What?
yeah.
He's saying semi-solid.
Okay, and how many did he do today?
He's had one today.
How many did he have yesterday?
How many did you have yesterday?
3.
3?
Yeah, every day we have 3.
What do they look like?
You have 3 bowel movements a day.
Every day, yeah.
Oh, he has 3 bowel movements a day.
They're usually loose, right, and fragmented.
Are they loose and broken apart, or are they solid?
No, normal, semi-solid.
Semi-solid.
Well, okay. So what's his diet? So does he keep him on the phone? Does he drink milk every day?
No, we don't do any dairy anymore. Only almond milk or coconut milk or cashew milk.
Okay. Does he do yogurt and shredded cheese?
Shredded cheese on occasion, very little. Yogurt, very little. That just started recently, but not on a regular basis, no.
Okay, all right. Okay,
In the past, yes.
What?
In the past, yes. In the past, yes.
Okay, all right. So how much does he weigh?
About 120 right now.
Okay.
Lost a lot of weight.
Okay. All right. So we know we got to get his weight up, right? So you got to do that, you got to bring his immune system up. So understand something. You cannot have a tumor in your body unless you have worms, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you can't have worms in your body unless you have a lot of putrefaction in your large intestine.
Okay.
Are you with me so far?
I am.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now, tell me what he's doing.
What are you doing right now?
No.
I just came, I went to pee and just came from the bathroom.
Oh, before that.
Before that, we had lunch. I was sitting on the chair, then and I'm sitting on the couch right now.
All right. He was just having lunch.
All right. What I'd like to know is what the program is on. What is he doing for his condition?
Do I need to stay on with him still, or do you want me to?
No, he can leave now if he wants.
Okay, I'm going to hang up with you.
Okay.
All right.
Tell him thank you.
Thanks. He's excited to listen to this afterwards. Okay, his daily routine. Still there?
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
Just wanted to get it up. Just wanted to get it off speaker.
Yeah, sure.
He gets up at the same time every day.
What time?
Usually about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Okay. What's he do first thing when his eyes open?
Brush his teeth.
Okay. Well, we don't want him doing that. Okay. What we want him to do the first thing is we want him to do this. You don't have to do any of this, anybody. So just when I say we want him to do this, if I was in his situation, this is what I'd do. Everybody's going to do whatever they want to do. This is just what I would do. Okay. So I would want him to do belly button therapy. Why? Because that right away puts him into a parasympathetic state. So I'm going to tell you something. You don't end up with a brain tumor because you're not a worry wart. Okay. That's a big part of it. And it truly is. Yep. Okay. Don't give yourself a tumor. Did you ever hear that one? Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, so what he's going to do is going to do belly button therapy, everyone. And tomorrow I'm going to be showing on my show at about 10 o'clock, right there, Sean? Right. 10 o'clock, we'll be doing belly button therapy, and I'm going to show how to clap the stress out of you, okay, for the weekend. And I'm going to be showing how to use a clapper, okay, just for stress and how to do some things to really calm your body down through this Christmas. You might as well enjoy it. What the heck? Yeah. So anyways, belly button therapy. He's going to lay there and he's going to go through the belly button therapy, everyone. If you don't know, when you do belly button therapy, you release 70% of your serotonin, 50% of your dopamine. You release endorphins and oxytocin, which is called the dose. It spells dose, D-O-S-E. And you release that when you do this. Now, if he did that and connected to lion heart breathing And all he did was focus on having a beautiful day, what he's grateful for. Now he started his day in the right way. Don't just jump out of bed, go do your teeth. Let's not be robotic. Let's take the time to actually align ourselves, okay, in the parasympathetic mode of, I got this. This is going to be a beautiful day. And you know what? And even, you know what? I used to say, I don't say anymore because I program myself, because we're all robots. I don't care what anybody says. We're human robots. I mean, you know, people are only in the present moment for 2 to 5% of their day. So figure that one out. Okay. Now, the more present you can be, the more you're going to heal faster and the more in control you're going to be. So you got to bring that up past 5%. Okay. So now we're going to do the belly button therapy. It only takes 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. After you do that, okay, after he does that, if he takes 2 drops of frankincense and drips that into his belly, then he takes maybe you can get a blend of THC and CBD, drop 2 drops in there. Do you know what that does? That turns on and excites 72,000 nerve endings, okay, to heal. That's right from the tip of your nose to the tip of your toes. And I'll tell you something, it's going to put you'll see, if you looked in your dad's eyes after he does this, you'd see that peacefulness. And then he does it again around noon or 1 o'clock, and then he does it before bed. And then, to help your father out, he can also do a product. He doesn't have to do mine. Everybody go get whatever. Make a belly button if you don't want to buy it. Just go to someone else and buy your products, okay? All right? So nobody's allowed to come on my show and banter me and tell me that I'm doing a product show, because we're trying to help people here, okay? I hope everybody gets that. Now, we have a product called DiMag, okay? And it's called Mag Infusion. And Mag Infusion, if your dad would have put it like 1 scoop or 2 scoops under here, it's a little metallic tasting. It's magnesium. It's going to open things up. Magnesium is the relaxation healing mineral. Hey, listen, don't tell me that we all can't just take a little bit of a chill pill. And people are really deficient in magnesium. So this is what I would be doing first thing in the morning to put him into that peaceful state, right? Because physical affects the emotional, and emotional affects the physical. It's a pinball machine, okay? So your dad gets up in the morning and then he goes and brushes his teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, what does he brush his teeth with?
Are you talking about toothpaste?
Yeah.
I just got him onto non-fluoride toothpaste.
Okay, but up until this point, it was fluoride, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That fluoride was feeding his tumor in his brain.
Since all this has happened is when he's starting to listen to me, because these are things that I've been trying to say for years. So we're there now.
Hey.
But prior to that, no.
Hey, there you go. And you know what? It's not because he doesn't love you. It's just that, 82 years of programming, okay?
Right.
You're not dealing with his heart. You're not dealing with his spirit. You're dealing with programming, okay? That's right. Well, look at this. How many people go and take the same thing that someone else did, and it didn't turn out well, and everybody's just lining up for it? Like, that's not happening. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so now you've got him off of that, but just know, everybody, that fluoride is a neurotoxin to help to calcify your pineal gland, so you vibrate and you think slow. That's all. It's just a poison. It doesn't harden teeth. That's a lie. The study was a lie. And there it is. Okay? So that's just a big lie. And then we got all the dental industry pushing this into our children and poisoning people. So thank you very much for that. Okay? I know I'm a little crass, but the reality is, have you had enough yet, anybody? When's the world going to speak up for itself? Okay. So now he brushes his teeth. Then what does he do?
Drinks water.
What does he drink? How much?
Since his surgery, holding things is not as easy, so it's a small cup, but it's a small cup of water. Just in the last week, I've tried to talk to him about a lot more. So we're working on. If he doesn't
do 3 quarts of water a day,
yeah,
and if it's not hot water, we're in trouble. Hot water,
it
not
is
cold
hot.
water.
I personally do not, but he does.
He does what?
They warm up a kettle of water every single day and drink that. So
Okay.
that's what he drinks.
That's nice. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Everybody should be doing at least, like with your dad, he should really be attempting to do about maybe even a quart of hot water a day. And then if it was me, only if it was me, I'd be putting Tummy Love in it, because Tummy Love is 75% fulvic and 25% humic. So we know that it will encapsulate any viruses, and it'll also pick up heavy metals and reduce the acidity in him. So, and if it was hot water, we know that he's going to move the mucus out, and he's going to open up his mucus lining, and he's going to wake up his digestive tract and say, honey, I'm home. And also the hot water is going to get the cork out of his butt, and I don't believe he's got good bowel movements, okay? I wish I could sit down with him tomorrow when he has a poop, but I don't think he would let me. It's impossible that he has good bowel movements, but he does, because guess what? Sonia, how many people have you pooped with?
None.
That's right. So you only have your own poop to compare to. So I can tell you right now that the intestine's the holy grail. So we really want to try to bring that up if we could. So let's get him to do the hot water. What does he do then after he brushes his teeth?
Breakfast.
What does he do for breakfast?
Usually oatmeal with some fruit.
Can't do it. Oatmeal's very acidic. And oatmeal has what's called purines in it, okay? All right? And that creates acid in the system. It's not the way for him to go, okay?
Okay.
I wouldn't be doing it. Do you know what his blood type is?
B positive, I believe.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So anyways, I wouldn't be starting with oatmeal, and he would be a lot better off if he wanted to start off with fruit in the morning, okay? Then move into vegetable juicing, okay? So I know he's a little underweight, but see, the oatmeal is too acidic for him. It is. It's too acidic. And then is it processed oatmeal, or does it take a half hour to make? 40 minutes. Because if it's not steel cut oats, that means that it's quick oatmeal, which means it's just garbage. He might as well eat the box.
Probably.
Okay, well, right off the bat, that's going to make his tumor grow. Did you get that?
Yep.
Okay, I got it. Good. So anyways, I don't want him doing that. He can have a big bowl of fruit, but he's only allowed to have one type of fruit. I don't want him having a mixed salad. I mean, does he want to get well? If he really wants to get well, then he's going to have to do certain things, which means more of a mono diet. And I never eat more than one fruit at a time. I might put strawberries in my blender drink, organic strawberries, and throw in a banana, but that's as much as it goes. These people who throw in tons of different fruits and veggies, and they're like crazy. The body can't handle it. You can't digest it well. It really can't. You've got to keep it simple. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I would, you know what, if I was in his situation, he can start his day off with a bowl of fruit if he wants. And then he should be moving into doing carrot juice. And your dad should be doing at least a quart of carrot juice a day. Why?
Okay.
Because it builds your energy up and also starts to help with his eyes. I saw he had an eye problem. We'll talk about that later. And also it helps with his liver to start cleaning his liver, okay? You know, when I started drinking a lot of carrot juice, my skin went orange. And now I can drink a quart a day. My skin never goes orange because it's flushing out your liver. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about what else goes on with him. Help me out. So he had breakfast. He had breakfast. Then what?
Shower.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if he's going to have a shower, does he have a shower in regular water?
Yeah.
Okay. So then he's having a shower in a gas chamber.
Right.
Okay. So now he's taking in fluoride and chlorine in a gas material. And also, if you're having a shower like that, I hope you know you're taking in 10 to 20 glasses worth of chlorine and fluoride, if there is fluoride in the water. And guess what, guys? Yeah, you're complaining about what you're drinking, but then you go and you just took in 20 glasses worth through your pores because the hot water opened up your pores and you just went the chemical went in faster. And also, if you have a hot shower, it vaporizes and he's taking that into his lungs. That's not going to help his situation, right?
Right.
So you can take a look at this, and this isn't a sales pitch. Go get some from where else if you want. But this will never wear out, and this will structure his water, and it'll come out silky smooth, and you never have to replace it. It's good for life. It'll outlive you, and there's no filters. So it'll structure the water, and so now he's protected. And if he wants, you can run, if they've got a budget, then what he should do is, what kind of water does he drink?
Well, it's regular water from the tap, but again, they boil it.
Oh, but boiling doesn't get rid of the chemicals.
Right.
Okay, so no, okay. Do you see? Let me tell you something. If everybody's doing it, it's okay, right? Okay, because we're all dying together. Okay, so the reality is, now if they got one of these, if they didn't want to get a portable unit, which is one of these, they could put everything they drink through this. Never wears out. Now let's say they can't afford it. Well, get a shower head and run the cold water through this, and it's structured now, and fill up a container, and he's got water for the day, doesn't he? So once you structure water, he's not going to be poisoning himself. But understand something, he's not going to get better, because the reality is, and he's not, and I don't mean to be like that. You really have to have a lot of mind over matter. And I believe he could do it if he knew how to control his emotions, and if he was a really positive thinking guy, and if he knew that our thoughts create everything, and that's what he believed in 100%, we could move on like a rocket. But your dad's never practiced that. He's just a good guy. He doesn't know about that 90% of his brain is his subconscious, and his beliefs make and shape and have created everything in his life. So, anyways, if he gets the structure unit, you got a 90-day money-back guarantee from us. If you don't think that it's worth way more than you thought, Sonia, just return it. But the reality is 70%, oh, you're going to love this one. 70% of his body is made out of water. So 70% of his body is made out of chlorinated water. Isn't that cool? So the reality is that, guess what? How much of the brain is made out of water, Sonia?
A lot.
90%. So his brain is made out of 90% chlorinated water. Do you think that might have something to do with the water retention and the swelling in his head? So here's the thing, This is what I tell people. You can go and spend $30,000, $50,000 US at a cancer clinic, but God, did you at least take a look at and create a perfect day? We charge $150 to create a perfect day and never charge the person again for life, and to continually support them. Because the reality is until you know how to become your own practitioner, okay, then everything's just temporary. Okay, so now he has a shower, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
He walks for about 20 minutes, just
okay.
kind of on the driveway, backyard, depending on the weather, but he tries to walk for about 20 minutes.
Okay, he's going to be able to walk a lot further if he would start doing these things, because he'll have more lung capacity. But the reality is you should get him to start doing go into the DIY guide and get him to do the pelvic activation squats, the crab stretch, and if you could get him to start doing the pelvic enhancer, all right? And get him to start doing clapping. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's an exercise, and it'll build muscle, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what else is he going to do after he walks?
Takes his medication.
Okay.
He's on Keppra for seizures, which he was put on when this all started, and another seizure medication as well. And that's it. Those are the only things he takes.
Yeah, and he can keep doing it. You might want to do some research on CBD and THC on seizures. And I'm not telling him to get off his seizure medication. Just remember something. Options. That's all we want to do is give people options, right?
Right.
Okay, there's an option. So So he comes back after his walk, then what? And he takes his medication, then what does he do?
He does some basic exercises that he can do. Balances a little off with the left side, so he's been taught some exercises, so he does those for a little while.
Okay, well, if he
And
wants
then
his balance back,
But-
tell him to get a
Yeah.
rebounder with a stationary bar that he can hang on to, and then just rebounding, because rebounding has a little bit of bounce, right? And if he's
Okay.
hanging on to the stationary bar, you can look online and get him one. Yeah,
Okay.
and he does that. And let me think here. I'll show the rebounding exercises tomorrow too.
Okay.
So we'll bring the rebounder down here. We'll do the rebounder, we'll do the belly button, and we'll do the clapping, right? Just so people can understand. Rebounding is the most effective exercise for anybody on the planet. There's no better exercise for circulation and for moving lymph. It would be a lot better if your dad were to do rebounding a couple of minutes every hour of the day. He would get into shape way better. His balance would come back way faster, okay? Nothing would help him faster, okay? You got to understand something. What we're giving out there, okay, the so-called certified and proven exercises, therapies, and everything else is so watered down. It misses the mark, okay? All right? I'll say to people, do you exercise? And they'll say, yeah, I walk. Okay. All right. So, anyways, rebounding would really be good for him. And also doing the crab stretches and only doing as good as he can, the pelvic activation squats, doing this and doing this. Let me tell you something. If your father did the belly button therapy for 7 minutes and he did that, and he doesn't even have to put the frankincense in or the CBD or the THC, he just did this, your father's going to be able to stretch 20% more than he could 7 minutes ago. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Nothing opens up the body and gives more flexibility to the body and more balance than belly button therapy. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. So these are things that people don't know. Okay, so now what time is it? Not you. I didn't ask you. I'm asking what time is it for her father? See,
I was just about to answer. I would have
you know
tried
what?
to
I
answer
got to
because
tell you
I'm just
something.
going based on what he wrote.
Sean will do anything to become a movie star. There you go. Sean, come on over here and show everybody who you are so they can know who. This is Sean, and he does all the video for us. Doesn't he look like a movie star? There you go. Okay, all right.
Now I'm going to see what he looks like. I spoke to him only, 10 times today?
10 times. Yeah.
No, not 10 times. It was close.
I know it was. You know what? It felt like 10 times because he's that annoying. Okay. All right. I'm kidding. Okay. So what time is it for your father? Okay.
I'm guessing this is around maybe 11 o'clock or so by now. And
Okay.
he's doing his prayers. He does spiritual prayers based on our religion.
Beautiful. And then after the prayer, he should just have a 15-minute nap
Okay.
because you should totally shut down. Totally shut the system down. Just totally shut it down. Just a 15-minute nap. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And, you know, by the time that 11 o'clock comes, your dad was supposed to do 2 quarts of water already.
Okay.
And I bet you he's only done 16 ounces.
If that.
That's right. So understand, your dad's not going to heal. He's going to remain a piece of beef jerky. Now, did you know that if your dad actually drank structured water, which has the lowest surface tension in the world, if you drink a 12-ounce glass of water, what he's drinking now from the tap, you can drink 1 quart of water and it won't sit as heavy as the 12 ounces.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. There you go. Okay, now what's he doing?
He's out for another walk, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Watches some TV, listens to music.
Okay, just know this, that your father had cataracts, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if your father had cataracts, you know that we get cataracts from blue light poisoning. That's the main reason. And, oh, you're going to love this one, from inflammation of the brain. Did you get that? So here's the deal. So just so you know, 5G, 4G, but mainly 5G and blue light, okay? All right? When they hit the eyes, they put the brain on fire. They poison the brain. Those frequencies. What happens is your eyes don't see, your brain sees. All your eyes do is pick up light and frequencies. They transmit it to the brain. The brain then gives you the pictures that you're looking at. Isn't that amazing? Now, your eyes grow cataracts because the brain is on fire and it's trying to stop the blue light and the other frequencies from hitting the eyes because the brain's on fire due to toxic thoughts and toxic foods. So with the toxic foods, toxic thoughts, and the blue light, that's enough to put it over the edge, okay, to create the cataracts.
Do you believe in the blue light glasses? Because I did get the entire family blue light glasses.
No, I don't really. What they do is
Okay.
they block. They don't do a great job.
Okay.
Sean? Okay, I could get mine. Can you ask him to bring mine down? Mine are upstairs. Okay. Lori knows where they are. Okay, so these are Tesla glasses. Now, what did you pay for the blue light? $49, $99?
Oh gosh, no, they were much cheaper than that. I got them for everybody.
Okay, all right. Just know this: that do you think we should? Do you think that we should try to block pain or master it?
Master it, of course.
Okay, all right. So this masters all light. So with 5G and blue light, I am getting no negative right now. And when the blue light hits or the 5G hits my eyes, it actually, I know you're not going to believe this, everyone. There's enough science to choke a horse on this. This is called fluorine lenses developed by Tesla. When the blue light hits and the 5G hits these lenses, it turns it into healing light. And then, this is where, Sonia, you're going to go say, okay, now I don't believe them at all. They actually creates a light and a frequency to go in and heal the brain and the eyes.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I like. I like to master things, not try to block things. I'm not going to try to block pain. I'm not going to block pain because pain is a GPS that tells us when we're off track. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, we get in pain when we're off track and not honoring ourselves. So I'm just going to go, shut up, pain. I'm going to take drugs or just try to block it. Okay, so these are mine, just so everybody can see. They're really quite nice. I wear them most of the time, like unless I forget them. I try not to wear them on shows, but I wear them everywhere else. When I'm in the office, if I'm on a computer, if I'm on my phone and doing some work, I've got to do that. Because I'll tell you something, and this is the truth. I used to wear reading glasses when I was younger. I mean, I had glasses when I was a first pair of glasses I got, I think I was 12 years old. Okay, and now I don't use any reading glasses, nothing. Do I? You never see me with glasses, do you, Sean?
Not really, no.
Not really. You either do or you don't.
Well, I see you with the Tesla.
Well, the Teslas, yes. So the reality is you can correct your eyesight just like you can correct anything else. You just got to want to have to do it. I understand, 82 years old, okay, and I'm not saying he is, but you get tired emotionally and physically. But the reality is this. Do you want it back? Do you want it back? Do you want your health back? Do you want your energy back? Do you want your brain back? And if you want it back, you'll find a way. And you'll do it. You know, people say to me, well, you know what? It's all about money. And I'll tell you something. And again, I'm going to tell you, if any of the products I talk about, just go find another distributor, and then you won't have to feel like I'm trying to sell you. But the reality is, I say to people is, I'd rather die in debt because it's an illusion and be healthy. I mean, you know what I mean? When I pass from this earth, if I'm totally in debt, who cares? And I made myself healthy. Everybody, you know what? They'll only spend the money of the value that they're worth. Tell me you've never seen that. You'll see people that can spend money on things that are so toxic and so foolish, and then when it comes to themselves, they can't even do it. And the reality is from the minute we get here, we're taught that suffering is how you show your family love, okay? And the reality is a lot of people would do anything for their children or their mother, their father, but they won't do it for themselves. And I'm right about that. I see it every day.
Yep.
So now, your dad is going to have lunch. What's he going to have?
I believe this is when he has his protein shake.
Oh, what's the
Um,
protein made of?
It's made out of soy protein, but it's a company I actually work for, and there's a whole history behind the soy. It's a good soy, and
Yeah, but can he digest it? That's the problem. Most people can't digest the soy, and if they can, sometimes it's been processed down. So we're not going to be bad mouthing any company here. But I'll tell you, I'd rather see your father on a sprouted protein than a soy protein. Because at 82, do you think his plumbing's a little broke down? We know his digestive tract is. You can't have a brain tumor unless your digestive tract has been broken down for years.
right.
Okay, so what's he put into the protein powder?
Almond milk, and the same through the same company, Juice Plus. We have whole food, fruit, vegetable, and berry capsules. So those are opened up and put in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe blueberries. I think a half a banana.
Too much. Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Okay.
Too much. His body's not taking it in. There's no way his body can assimilate all that. You put in way too many things.
Okay.
It's not happening. It's not physically feasible that it's going to happen. This is what we do, though. We put the whole buffet in because we need to get healthy right now. And the thing is you put too much in, you can't do it. If I give you 5 different projects to do, but they're all within reaching distance, can you do them all at once?
No.
Okay. All right. Could you do them all at once if you were 80 years old, faster?
No.
Okay. Are we done yet?
Got it.
Okay. All right. I just want to make my point because I'm making a point. If we really don't want to waste money, then we shouldn't do more than we can digest. Because if you're not digesting it, what are you doing with it? It's rotting in you.
Holding on to it.
It's
Yeah.
rotting into you. But he's got good bowel movements. Okay. So all I'm saying is that if we could fix the highway, which is the digestive tract from the mouth to the rectum, and we don't want to overcomplicate anything in the digestive tract either. So what else did he have for lunch, or is that it?
My mom's really good about salads a lot, so I'm sure there's a salad involved for lunch and dinner. And then we're from India, so there's a lot of vegetable type meals. They're almost mainly vegetarian. I think there's meat on occasion, and it is organic, but they're more of a vegetable. I will say there's probably rice involved as well.
White rice?
Brown.
Okay. Mixed with the vegetables.
Vegetables, yeah, and spices.
Okay. All right. He might want to take some digestive enzymes just so it doesn't putrefy in him, right?
Okay.
I would. I'll tell you right now. So I'm almost 65, and I'll tell you right now, I had a large salad for lunch. And what do you think I'll have for supper? A larger salad. So,
okay.
And then I'm going to have a blender drink here. I might have a blender drink here. That was the first thing I had, and I didn't have that until 1 o'clock, right? But what did I do before 1 o'clock? Well, I drank 3 quarts of water this morning with fulvic in them. I did my calcium twice, the ion calcium drink. So that's just what I do. I'm not telling anybody to do what I do. But the reality is that cooked food is not a great friend for him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And animal products are not a good food. And if he's going to eat animal products, it'd be really great if your father were to take 2 HCL capsules. Go to the health food store. It's inexpensive, $8 for a bottle. Take 2 or 3 HCL capsules, and your dad will say, wow, it's not sitting so heavy.
Is the HCl digestive enzymes? Or
No. Digestive enzymes are digestive enzymes. HCl is hydrochloric acid. And when you're 82 years old and we know that you have a brain tumor, we know that you had digestive problems a long time ago, like 40 or 50 years ago. If I went through your father's history, he would be telling you about all types of things he's forgotten. Okay, so now HCl is hydrochloric acid, which the stomach pumps out when you need to digest animal protein, right?
Okay.
So we already know, and your father needs to, if he's going to eat animal products, he's got to chew the meat until it's a liquid. Did you get that?
Oh, yeah, we have an issue with him eating way too fast. It's been an issue for a very, very long time.
And that's part of the brain tumor. Did you get that? And the eating fast is the reason why he has a bowel problem, which is part of the brain tumor. But he doesn't have a bowel problem. We've already established that too. But he does. Okay, do you understand?
Yeah.
I just want to make myself perfectly clear because I know I'm right about things. Because the human body, after 40 years, no matter how dumb I probably am, I'm going to learn things. And the reality is that your large intestine is your immune system for the human body. And that is also your compost. It's also like a sewer system, but it's an amazing sewer system that holds 85% of your immune system. That became a cesspool a long time ago for your father.
Got it.
Okay, I'm just going to drive that home until it's, until somebody wants to try to prove me wrong. So now, after lunch, what's he going to do?
He rests, tries to do some reading, write in a journal, and then another afternoon walk.
Okay. Well, it'd be really great if he did some breathing exercises. There's some great breathing exercises and techniques that come out of India. So I haven't heard him do any of that, but he needs to learn how to breathe deeper, take more oxygen in, okay? And connect to his breath and do it and breathe deeper all the way throughout the day because oxygen is what the brain needs and it goes there first, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's something we've been trying to work on with him for a while. My mom is very much that person who's meditated, does breath work. Once he was in the hospitals, when we tried to teach him how to breathe, and it's like, it's 82 years of not knowing how to do it, so he struggles to do it, but we're working on it.
Well, that's because he struggles because he's a man.
Oh, yeah.
If he was a woman, he wouldn't be struggling with it. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't think of it that way.
What? Oh, trust me, that's the way it is. Okay? Men are like that, Oh, I don't want to change now. Right? I'm the head of the household. But that's all on the subconscious level. It's not like he's coming out and saying that. Right?
Yeah.
But the reality is anybody can change, but men find it hard to change. Because for God's sakes, if we have to change, maybe we were wrong. See, the mind plays games, okay? The mind games, right? Okay, if he just said, okay, I got this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put my heart into this. Girls, show me the way.
Yeah.
All right. And I've worked with a lot of East Indians, so every culture has their way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So personalities do create the reality. So that's why if you could get someone to just look at your beliefs and let's take a look. Are they supporting? But we take it all so personal, don't we? We take our beliefs so personal. Well, this is who I am. No, it's not. You can't. That belief can't be who you are. It caused you a brain tumor, for God's sakes. Okay, so now what's he going to do? For one thing, I'm going to tell you something right now. You need to get 3 quarts of water out and with his name on it, and it better be finished by 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, don't water the plant. What happens to it?
Dies.
Okay, there you go. So you know what? You can't fight against certain things. You just can't do it. Yeah. Okay, so now what's he going to do?
Says here a little nap, then a small snack. I'm not sure what that is, with tea. And that is one thing that he loves, that he's cut back a lot. But the tea is black tea with a little bit of almond milk, no sugar.
Okay. It's definitely not the worst thing in the world. But the reality is he's got to work on his breathing, work on some other things like we've been talking about. So now what's for supper? Veggies and rice?
Well, that kind of goes into what I was bringing up earlier as lunch. I'm not sure exactly what lunch is. It's usually light. Dinner tends to be kind of like more of the Indian side of food.
Are you talking about flour products?
I'm sorry?
Flour products like chapatis or...
Oh, they don't do as much anymore. That was something that, I grew up with, and it was in my house regularly.
Well, just know this.
But,
it's a direct poison for your father.
yeah, it's not so much now at all. In fact, my mom-
It cannot be at all.
Okay,
Mommy can't eat it. Daddy can't eat it. You don't bring it in the house.
okay.
And if he's mixing rice and meat together, I guarantee he's not digesting it. It's putrefying in him.
Okay.
He can have rice and vegetables, but he's got to take digestive enzymes. If he has meat and vegetables, then he's got to do HCl because he's not digesting the meat. You already know that your father rushes his food, which shows that he's always ran a subconscious anxiety program. So that means he probably was anxious about not being able to make enough money.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's why, and that's what caused his brain tumor.
I was waiting for that part.
Well,
because that's what I've always felt strongly
yeah,
about.
yeah, it did.
Yep.
It did. And he's still running the same program.
Yep.
So the reality is if you can't find peace of mind, your mind will be in pieces. And the reality is the invisible creates the physical. The reality is that psychological always outdoes the physical. End of story. I'm absolutely right because guess what? I have people that walk in here with brain tumors, prostate problems, and they get 6 weeks to live. I have a lady that was at hospice and was given 3 weeks to live. She had ovarian cancer that went to her breasts, that went to her brain. And guess what? We put her on just 4 different products in hospice, and she was out of hospice in 4 weeks. It's 2 years later.
Wow.
So I'm not, I don't go around like this card and just go, oh, tell everybody this. I'm trying to tell you that, guess what? Most of the products you take, they're not going to be uptake by the brain. You know, there's very few of them, like the ionic calcium therapy. There's nothing like it in the world. It's the most powerful product in the world, okay? The other thing your father should look at is Yule carbon, okay, because he needs to really get in there because Yule carbon is really great. Carbon 60, it's called carbon 60 actually, C60, because it'll actually, and if you want it, you can call me because in situations like this, we actually bulk it and we wholesale it because he needs to go in there and really get those chemicals out, get those heavy metals out, bring the spark back, right? And then there's another product called pineal, and that has life crystals in it to help to regenerate the brain and also help the pineal gland. And then he should be on FibroClear because FibroClear eats up scar tissue and loves fibroids. It loves to eat them for breakfast. Okay? And then he's got to get his water changed. He should also be on the daily cleansing tea and the tummy love, like I said. And even if we didn't do anything else, and if we were to bring in also vegetable juicing like the carrot juice, you can do a lot of the things that you're still doing, but the things that you're doing aren't going to change it. Remember something, Sonia, everything is vibrational. And what heals the body, Sonia? The invisible. And what do I mean by that? Well, guess what? Every food you've ever eaten, every drink you've ever taken, the physical part, the whole thing left the body. So when you eat a donut, nothing stays behind except the frequency of the donut. And don't you feel like it? Ugh. You feel like the hole in the middle. Okay? So when you eat the apple, you're not eating the apple. Sure, the fiber's going in to help to nourish the bacteria. The enzymes are the spark of life in the apple. There's the structured water in it. Okay? There's all the minerals, the nutrients. But guess what? At the end of the day, all the minerals, all the nutrients, all the fiber, all the water leaves the body. The only thing that stays behind is the frequency from the apple. And tell me I'm not right. The last time you went to a party and there was people in there you didn't like, you left feeling negative and lower. When you went to the party that you loved all those people and they were fun to be with and they made you feel good, it carried on for days. So it doesn't matter. So I look at the physical person, it's the vibe that I get. So I don't want to be around anybody that I don't get a high vibe from. So I've got family and friends, low vibe, don't need it, don't want it. So you got to let go of, in life, of things that are low vibrational so you can get high vibrational. That's it. But the problem is we're not willing to dishonor our old beliefs, our old ways. Well, I know he's an alcoholic, but I've been friends with him for 30 years. Okay, good, fine, stay. The reality is this. Unless you bring the vibration up in the body on an emotional or physical level, you'll never have a healing. So the tumor's got to come back unless the vibration is high enough to create a different inner terrain that doesn't grow tumors. How are we doing?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of other things that if you want, we can, we'll go through. You know, I would have my father start clapping. I would go and tell him, and you know what? If your father should be doing something, instead of going for walks, let's have him get a little more educated. Have him go and watch the whole How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two. Then have him go and watch the 2-hour video. Oh, you'll find that in my library. Just go to my website, docofdetox.com, click on library, go in there, watch How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two. It's 6 hours. Okay? I'm telling you, he's not going to be able to dispute it. He's going to go, wow, okay, all right. And then he may say, well, I believe it, but I don't want to do it. There you go. At least you tried. Then get him to go to the A to Z masterclass. He can watch the 2 hours. Okay? This is like, this 2 hours is cinematic AAA video. Okay? All right? Sean did it. Okay? Remember Sean? He's the movie star, superstar. Well, anyways, he did it, and he did an amazing job. Thank God for him. But if your dad watches it, he's going to learn so much about how he grew the tumor, how he grew the tumor, and how he grew it back. You can cut out the tumor, but you can't, if you didn't cut out the beliefs that created it and the lifestyle and the habits, then it's coming back. So do you have any questions for me? Oh, I got one for you. Do they have Wi-Fi?
Of course.
It feeds tumors. So if they don't turn the Wi-Fi off when they're not using it, it's feeding tumors. That's it. Okay, so just know that. Wi-Fi does that. That's what it does. It is a negative toxic frequency. Okay, so if he's watching TV and he doesn't have anything protecting his eyes, that blue light feeds tumors. I didn't say it. It's scientifically proven.
Yep.
So, you know, he's going to have to protect himself against the blue light, turn the Wi-Fi off when they're not using it. Does he have an electric alarm clock?
He doesn't use an alarm anymore.
Okay, all right. So make sure there's nothing plugged in around his head when he's sleeping at night.
Yeah, I've told him to charge his phone in another room. I think he charges it downstairs and sleeps upstairs.
Yeah, okay, but it should be on airplane mode. It shouldn't even be on in the house when he's sleeping. It should be on airplane mode.
I've just convinced him of that. I've been on airplane mode while I sleep for years. So hopefully he's listening to me now.
Hopefully. There you go.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I've ordered the calcium and the pineal and 2 clappers. I'm waiting for them. And I'll look into everything else that you mentioned.
Yeah. Love is a crazy thing, eh, Sonia?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing? Tug of war, eh?
Well, I have my issues as well, but it's funny, all that you've talked about are things that I've been looking into and trying to understand and work on for years. And I'm not quite there, but a lot of the stuff that you said will be helpful for me as well.
Anyways, your parents are so lucky that they have you, but they're not lucky because they created you, so we know your parents are beautiful. And remember something, Sonia, and your dad's probably going to watch this. Learn from him. Learn from your mother. And the day that you totally honor, love, and respect yourself and fill up your own heart with love, maybe they'll do the same thing. But they weren't taught that way. You know, we're taught that we're taught to actually be broken. And that's why society's broken. That's why the whole world's broken right now. You know, people think that if you totally honor, respect yourself, that it's a selfish thing. And I'll tell you something. Mark my words. You will see that the people that actually get through this are people that learned how to mind their own business, mind their health, mind their happiness, became the light, and then shine that light on their families. And that's who's going to make it through this. And the reality is this. If I were to go and watch a horror movie, and I watch that horror movie all day long, what kind of shape would I be in, Sonia?
Crappy.
So do you think maybe I should look at the negative beliefs that I have and quit terrorizing myself and stop turning on the news and stop listening to my brothers, sisters, mother, father, uncle, and aunt,
Absolutely.
and friends about all the BS, dysfunctional belief systems that they have? They want to talk about it. So you have to understand something, Sonia. You're either looking for the dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, or you're terrorizing the living crap out of yourself without even knowing it all day long and doing it to your family. How does it feel when you're trying to reach your mother and father about all this information and you struggle to do it? You need to know something. Keep loving them. But make sure that you love yourself first and foremost, that if they don't want the information or don't take action on it, you did your part. But you didn't do your part if you fall apart or have a broken heart because you can't reach them, even though you may believe in it. That's how life is. There's nobody
exactly what
out
I struggle
there.
with.
What?
That's exactly what I struggled with, and
Well,
not just in this situation. But
I
yeah,
feel it.
That's exactly.
It's coming right through. Coming right through my headset. It's been coming through my headset this whole time. And the reality is this, and they're going to probably watch this, but what they need to get is this. Their little girl is logical and intelligent. And you are the master they should be listening to. I'd be listening to you. And you only mean the best. See, here's the deal. Parents are adulterated. They're adulterated in the way that they don't understand that when something comes home and it's 1 and 1 or 2, not 11, they should listen. But the reality is, and please don't get me wrong, but your culture is really good for this.
Yep.
They can't listen. Your culture has been born and bred, okay, to be the all-knowing for parents.
Yep.
And I don't care how pissed off they get because I deal with this all the time. Do you know how many East Indian patients I have because I understand them? I love them. I love everybody, actually. It's the only way you can love yourself is to love everyone. But the reality is, oh my gosh, do you know how often I see this? And it's always the girls. It's always the girls in this culture that are trying to reach the family. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and if it was a boy, they'd be listening more. And I'm sorry, I apologize. But I've been doing this for 40 years and understand something. I've been working with this type of culture, this community all my life, and I understand it. So I get it. Every different culture around the world has different views. My God, I can go to Ecuador right now and there's no masks. I can go there, no 6-foot rule. Everything's open. They only say shut down at 10 until 4. I can go to a city not too far from here, just in Calgary. Everything's shut down. Everybody's terrorizing each other. You know, they're only half-assed doing it here. I walked into 3 stores yesterday with no mask on. It says mask must be worn. People didn't say anything in the stores. So it all depends who the terrorist is.
Yep.
You know? And let me tell you something. My God, people are just so programmed. You know what? If it was a pandemic, there'd be death in the streets. The hospitals would be full, and the hospitals wouldn't be writing COVID on everything that comes through the door. Did you know that in our hospital, everything that comes through the door is COVID until the doctor goes and signs off that it's not? And how many doctors are signing off? And every day I get calls from people all over the place. I guarantee your father was put down for COVID when he went in for his surgery. And the reality is the doctor had to go and sign it off. And you know what they get for COVID? They get a few thousand for putting them on a ventilator. They get another few thousand. And then, oh my God, I'm not allowed to show this letter, but a friend of mine sent me a letter. And I'm not going to say where, who, what. And they were all put on notice that they're not allowed to talk about any of this. And you should hear the stuff that's going on. Okay? Yeah. All the heads of the hospitals are being threatened. Okay? And then they're threatening all the nurses and the doctors. Yeah, it's really lovely. I'm really glad to be part of this world right now. It's it's a good test, isn't it? So I got to understand, you got to understand something. Just as I can't change things out there, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to get angry. You can't change your parents either. So every time that you get frustrated, you're running a belief system that it's time to kick the crap out of Sonia because you're just not smart enough, Sonia. They don't love you enough. And nobody really wants to listen to you anyways because you're kind of stupid. And understand something, that's the subconscious for a lot of people. I'm not saying that's you, I'm exaggerating it. But the reality is why would you ever get frustrated? Because your parents aren't going to listen. They're not going to listen because the other things that are in their other beliefs have been rooted into them 10,000 times. So if you could repeat this to them 10,000 times, you'll finally reach them. So the only way they're listening to you is because they fear death and they're in pain.
Yep.
Welcome to everybody's world. And guess what? He with the biggest advertising budget wins. Otherwise, he who repeats something long enough and strong enough gets to win. I mean, you can get people to eat crap. I mean, dog crap. You can get them to eat dog crap.
I know.
So you can get them to do anything. You can get them to do anything. And that's why, you know what, I tell my kids and I tell my family, I'm just not coming. I'm not eating out at a restaurant. I'm not doing it. And it's not because I'm fighting back. It's just, you know what? I cannot look and see human beings be so orchestrated. They always have been, I mean, my father got leukemia. And guess what? You're not going to believe this, but it only took us 5 weeks to reverse it. That's right. And then he went back to his old ways and got it again. Then it took us 6 months. Do you see? You can't keep going back to the water hole if you're not going to learn. And then he got it again, and then he died from it. All right?
Wow.
So what did I learn from that? Well, first of all, I was angry. But then I realized that was really a waste of time. And that my father was going to do what he wanted to do. And as long as I loved him. And I realized from something, I'm not going to get angry at people anymore. I'm just going to love them as much as I can while they're here. Don't you love getting angry at your father because he's not doing what you want to do? And then you then you regret it. Okay, then you regret it. And then you go and you love him again. Then you try to teach him something. And then he doesn't do it. And then you get upset again. We all do this as children.
Yep.
Stop it. Your father, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to read. If you follow this program, you're going to start to feel better. It's your decision. And then just what? Love the heck right out of them. Hug them, kiss them, and then talk about the beautiful times that you've had. And have beautiful times with them and make plans and keep doing things. You know what? I just keep making plans as they try to make our world smaller and tell us that we're not allowed to have our world anymore. I just keep making my plans because it's my world. I'm not listening. La
Same.
not listening. Not listening.
Same here.
Yep, that's
Same
right.
here.
So understand something, Sonia. It's your life. Love the heck out of Sonia. Fill up her heart. Learn to love her with all your might and become that light. And then people are going to go, look at the light coming off of her. She is a beautiful spirit. And that's what we say about people that are in love with themselves. And it's not selfish. It's not self-centered. It's the way that you don't end up having to pay. So when you can honor yourself, you can let everybody drink, eat crap, talk crap, and you can get up and walk away. And here's the deal, Sonia. Anytime you don't want to be somewhere, nobody's ever going to stop you from going to the bathroom. I'll tell you, I end up going to the bathroom so much at parties and different talks I go to. I mean, I'm a Mr. Bathroom guy because I just got to get away from the conversation, right? Unless it's empowering, I don't want to hear about it. And you know what? People might say, well, you know, this is the way it is. No, this is the way it is for you. Anyway, Sonia, is there anything you'd like to ask me before we carry on?
Oh, I could go on for hours and ask you questions, but we'll leave it at my dad for now.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about yourself? I can tell you that you're a beautiful woman and that you need to really love and respect yourself and that you have to make sure that your parents and everybody else loves and respects you too. And when they watch us, they're going to say they do. Well, if they did, they'd be listening more because all we're asking them to do is to embrace nature and embrace what God has created and to not embrace what man has created because mankind is not kind. So you have your dad think about that, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, girl.
Bless
Thank you
too.
for all you do.
Thank you for what you do. I watch you all the time.
Ah, shucks. I was in the neighborhood. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
All right, sweetie. All right, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful day, too. Just know that the How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two series, 12 Days of Poo is still on. And this week, no, wait a minute, Monday? Yeah, Monday I'll have a live Q&A. That's right, next Monday. I'm all confused because of Christmas. I hope that you have the best holiday, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief is, but just believe in yourself, okay? Believe in yourself and know that there's so much potential inside you, and I love you, so why don't you love you, okay? Stop judging you, observe, and then guess what? You can only grow one way, and that's consciously. So grow consciously and learn to love the skin you're in, okay? And have the best day of your life. And we'll see you soon.
You are the power you seek. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.